behind Barrett is Hannes Morin. So we have 3 drivers from Dan Holland Racing occupying the top 3 spots. Right, well, let's run you through the starting order for Senior Max Heat number 2. On the front row, it's a British double-header. Bradley Barrett and Jordan Brown-Nutley. Then it's Hannes Morin, Zsombor Kovács, the ever-impressive Dylan Lahaye, who took the win in Heat number 1. Max Timmermans from Belgium alongside him. Then it's Mick Knowlton and Mathilde Olsson. Then it's Sabo Boldisar, Fabian Bock, Miles Apps, Charlie Anderson, Cairo Kivi, Mikkel Tigson, Kali Astrand, Jusso Pantila, Jacob Hornbachner, Olivier Verheist, Dorian Heinrich, Rick Bouton, Regina Grinerup, Ragnar Virus, Tamino Bergmeier, Andre Walter, Samuel Harrison, Matthias Jensen, Julian Wertele, Emma Flo Weinreich, Lawrence Seidfried, Tim Rohrlicke, and Tom Darcy, who starts again from the back of the order. Expect this young Briton to make his way up the order as we saw in Heat number 1 a little while ago. Right. Top 10 for Heat number 2, which is groups B and C. Your top 10 is as follows. Bradley Barrett and Jordan Brown-Nutley on the front row. Row 2, Hannes Morin and Zsombor Kovács. Dylan Lahaye and Max Timmermans, row 3. Mick Knowlton and Mathilde Olsson, row 4, with Sabo Boldisar and Fabian Bock rounding out the top 10. Yellow flag conditions as we now head towards the second barrage of action for the Senior Max category here at the opening round of the 2018 Rotax Max Euro Trophy in Belgium. So red lights are on the starting gantry. The drivers will now have to make their way through to the tram lines. And we go green and go racing. And Barrett has got the inside line going into turn number 1. And looks like Brown-Nutley has been overtaken by one kart, and that is Hannes Morin, as Lahaye is getting, and Morin's been, looks to be dropping down. He's actually dropped down from 3rd to 8th position. So that would have included the likes of Kovács, Lahaye, Timmermans as well. So leaders now coming into turn 8. And it looks to be that the Brits are probably still leading the way with Bradley Barrett and Jordan Brown-Nutley up ahead. No, that isn't. That looks to be Hannes Morin. So it was Jordan Brown-Nutley that was cast asunder, so to speak. Leaders now coming round the penultimate corner, around this sweeping, momentum-carrying right-hander into turn 12. So it is Barrett from Morin. Lahaye now up into 3rd. Kovács, Brown-Nutley now showing... Well, Brown-Nutley's actually got past... back into 4th position. Then it's Knowlton, Boldisar, Bock, Olsson and Anderson. Now rounding out the top 10. And already in the first lap, Tom Darcy has got up to 25th position, having started 31st and last in this particular heat. Second heat in a row that the Brits has actually had to start from the back of the field. As we see some nice moving through into turn number 9. I don't know if there was an overtaking move on there, but I don't think it didn't happen in any way, shape or form. So Bradley Barrett gets his head down. And the fastest lap of this race so far is a 55.990. And that's from Mick Knowlton, the 294, who's just under 0.3 of a second off of Jordan Brown-Nutley. And that is for 4th position as the top 5 now go along the back straight. Then you've got 6th and 7th, which is Bock and Olson. And you can see just by how hard these guys are pushing in terms of trying to get the corner entry right, the braking right, the throttle application as they're coming out of the corners. As there's some bumping and barging a little bit further down the order going through turn 8. As looks like Morin has just signalled to LaHaye to, well, it's not just LaHaye that's just gone past Morin, it's also Brown Nutley. So there's been a change for 2nd and 3rd. And it looks like the two DHR teammates are working together. And it's side by side going into the exit of turn 1 into turn 2. LaHaye now retakes 3rd place off of, I think that was Brown Nutley, now in 4th. So they're now making their way down the back straight, which has allowed Bradley Barrett to exercise a bit of a gap here at the front of the field. So this battle for 2nd is a 4-way scrap. And it is Hannes Morin. Brown Nutley's trying to go up the inside. What a great move up into turn number 9 past the Belgian of Dylan LaHaye. That was a great opportunistic move into turn 9. I never saw that one coming. That was a Daniel Ricciardo-esque overtaking manoeuvre. Leaders now go through into turn number 1. Bradley Barrett, as there we go. There's another swap around. That's Brown Nutley going past Morin, who then falls back behind Morin into position. And I think what they're trying to do is try and sort of keep the guys behind them, quite literally behind them. But I don't think that's going to phase the likes of Knowlton and LaHaye, as there's been a change for 3rd position. I think LaHaye might be back in 3rd place. So still leading, and I think that gap is going to be further extended at the end of this tour. Is Bradley Barrett in the treble 2, then it's Brown Nutley, then it's Knowlton in 3rd place. Then you'll have Morin in 4th, who's coming under pressure, and it's side by side between him and LaHaye going into turn number 1. Morin sweeps in front just in the nick of time, gets a bump from behind, not just from LaHaye, it looks like the 232 of Olson as well. So that was very, very close indeed. And I think it was just maybe when they were trying to overtake, LaHaye was trying to get past Morin for position, and then Olson was right there pretty much, and then all of a sudden it's like one hits one and then one hits the other. So it was like a domino effect, as looks like there's been an overtaking. That's LaHaye on Morin going into the into turn number 8. Nice little move there by the Belgian, who won the opening Senior Max heat earlier on today. So last time around, Bradley Barrett was leading this race by a comfortable 1.7 seconds. We'll make that 1.589 because Jordan Brown Nutley has got the hammer down, as has Knowlton. Mick Knowlton in the 294. Then you've got the battle behind them between Dylan LaHaye and also Olson, Matilda Olson as well. So you've got quite a few competitive drivers here as well. Timmermans is another one, another fast Belgian. But I think now we've got quite a bit of distance. I think Bradley Barrett's now sort of thinking, you know what? I'm glad I've got this cushion because I'm going to need it. We still have time left to go in this race. So just under 3.5 minutes, plus an additional lap to go in this second Senior Max heat of the day. And the gap has actually stabilised between Bradley Barrett and Jordan Brown Nutley to the tune of 1.5 seconds. And now the fastest lap of the race now goes to Max Timmermans, a 55.391. So it looks like Knowlton has actually got past Brown Nutley for position. So it's a battle between CRG and DHR at the moment. So we'll see what happens as this race progresses. So another lap completed by Bradley Barrett, still leading comfortably. As guess who's just completed the fastest lap of this race? It's Dylan LaHaye. He's just done a 55.2. He is on a flyer, is the Belgian. So it's Barrett from Knowlton now in second, Brown Nutley in third, LaHaye in fourth and closing. Hannes Morin in fifth, who's coming under increasing pressure from Max Timmermans. Matilda Olsson in seventh position in the 2:32 has made up a place. So it is still all to play for. Meanwhile, a little bit further down the order, Pantila and Kovac has got past Buthorn for 10th and 11th position. So the gap is still decreasing, as it looks like Brown Nutley's got past Mick Knowlton again. So another change for position. And we have a 5-second penalty for number 244, that's Kovac. Kovac has now received a 5-second time penalty as LaHaye goes up the inside of Knowlton going into turn 6. That's for third. So Kovac now receives a 5-second time penalty. Less than 60 seconds on the clock. So top 10 at the moment, it's Barrett leading from Brown Nutley, from LaHaye, from Knowlton, from Morin. That's your top 5 at the moment. So the gap between Barrett and now Brown Nutley in second has expanded to 1.7 seconds. LaHaye now up into third, Knowlton in fourth, Morin in fifth. Pantila has dropped a couple of places from 12th to 14th with Miles Apps and Kalle Astrand now getting ahead of the number 288. So time is now ticking down on the clock. So final lap board being prepared in this second Senior Max Heat, Groups B and C, and it looks like the battle for the lead will have already been decided, I think, pretty much. But look behind for the battle for second, as Brown Nutley is now in fourth place with Knowlton and LaHaye in second and third. Then you got Morin, then you got Timmermans. This is quite literally a battle that's going to explode as we get through the last part of this lap. And Bradley Barrett is just cruising away. He was 2 seconds ahead of the the quintet behind. As it looks like, could that be Morin on Brown Nutley? Oh, and we've got a spinner off the track. One of the DH cars have just gone spinning. There was contact there, I believe, heading into turn 6. So it looks like Timmermans, as a result of that contact, might have inherited, I think, 4th position. That he has. The 242 now showing in my line of sight, as it's been very feisty. I thought it might be undecided, as Bradley Barrett takes the win here for Senior Max Heat number 2. Knowlton and LaHaye crossed the line in second and third, with Max Timmermans rounding out the top 4. Then it was Hannes Morin completing the top 5. But what a dramatic... That was Jordan Brown Nutley that was actually punted off, so to speak, off of turn number 6. And the Brit, I don't think, is at all pleased, as he's got his race helmet off. He's away from his car, out of harm's way. But that was really unfortunate. I think it was... You know, when you see these incidents where you see more than 2 carts going for a piece of track and it's not going to happen... Well, that clearly was the case, and unfortunately, the unfortunate recipient was Jordan Brown Nutley. So, winning Heat 2 for the Senior Max season opener here, the Rotax Max Euro Trophy. It's Bradley Barrett from the UK, ahead of Mick Knowlton from the Netherlands. Dylan Nahey and Max Timmermans make it a Belgian 3-4, with Hannes Morin and Mathilde Olsson rounding out the top 6. And then it was Fabian Bock in 7th, with Cairo Kivi in 8th. Then Rick Bouton, who made his way from 20th on the grid to finish 10th, and also rounding out the top 10, it's another Brit in the form of Miles Apps, who started in